Good morning, friends. So, we are going to start today with the fundamental counting principle. And with that, we are going to use some more multiplying. And so we see here, I can know that the probability of compound event, and the key here is a compound event, is the fraction of outcomes of the sample space for which the compound event occurs. I can also represent sample spaces for compound events using methods such as organized list and tree diagrams, etc. All right, so we are going to go on to our next slide here. So we see here that we have what's called the fundamental counting principle. And it says you can use multiplication instead of making a tree diagram to find the number of possible outcomes in a sample space. This is called the fundamental counting principle. All right, so we see here that we need to find the total number of outcomes when a coin is tossed and a number cube is rolled. When you toss the coin, you have two options, heads or tails. When you have a number cube, you have 6 options, 1 through 6 on the number cube. Remember we said that everything in probability is multiplied. So 2 coin options times 6 number cube options equals 12 total outcomes. And so you see here, there are 12 total outcomes. So if you wanted to check yourself, you could draw a tree diagram and check yourself. Remember, this is also a video that gives you another explanation of how to draw a tree diagram and some examples for the fundamental counting principle. All right, so on to slide 37. Notice here, this is what they did. The first example was heads or tails. And then after you have heads, you could roll your number cube and say heads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And you have tails, so you have tails 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And so you see here, these are all the different combinations. Okay, so the question, the got it question says this. Find the total number of outcomes when choosing from bike helmets that come in 3 colors and 2 styles. So when we do this, we see, all right, 3 colors and 2 styles. And remember, probability means we multiply them, so there are 6 combinations. Notice there is another video here if you do not understand what I am saying. And we'll go on to slide 38. All right, so once again, find the total number of outcomes from rolling a number cube. All right, so your number cube has 6 outcomes with sides labeled 1 through 6, and choosing a letter from the word numbers. So we see here numbers has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 outcomes. So there are 7 letters. What do we do with probability? We multiply. So 6 number cube outcomes times 7 letter outcomes equals 42 possibilities or outcomes from the 2 of them. So the outcome is 1 out of 42. And if I take 1 divided by 42, you would get approximately 2%. Okay. So we go on to slide 38. So let's look at this guy. We see here that the number of different genes available at the genes shop. So we see here that there are 5 sizes, 30, 32, 34, 36, and 38. There are 3 lengths and there are 3 styles. So we have 5, 3, and 3. Now I could do a tree diagram if you wanted to. But if we just want to know how many different possibilities there are, then we would go with 5 times 3 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 3 is 45. There are 45 different outcomes. Now, if I took a 1 out of 45 chance and I divided that, I would get 2%. It would be very random of a chance of selecting one of those. Okay. So we are going to go with the next slide, slide 40. And I would like you to pause at this time and pause this video, and I want you to work on slide 40, question B. Slide 40, question B. Go ahead and pause it at this time. All right, so 2 number cubes are rolled. And with these number cubes, the probability that the sum of the numbers of the cubes is 12. How likely is the sum going to be 12? All right, so I'm looking here, and when I roll the number cubes, I can get on the first number cube the probability that, or sorry, if you have both number cubes, you're going to have a 1 out of 6 and a 1 out of 6. That is the only way that you are going to get a 12. And so 6 times 6 is 36. It is a 1 out of 36 chance that you would likely get a sum of 12 because both numbers on the cubes would have to be 6s. All right, so we see here a box of toy cars contains blue, orange, yellow, red, and black cars. These are kind of important. So you see here, these are the different colors of cars. A separate box contains male and female action figures. What is the probability of randomly choosing an orange car and a female action figure? So if you look at this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, and you have 2 for the action figures. 5 times 2 is 10. So you have 10 different possibilities or a 1 out of 10 chance of getting a female action figure with an orange car. Okay? Go on to slide 41, please. All right, so we are going to work on this independent practice. I want you to pause the slide and the video, and I want you to work on 1, 2, 3, and 4. After you have worked on those 4, I will be happy to show you what the answers are for those 4 questions. So go ahead and pause at this time. Okay, so we are going to work on questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to find the total number of outcomes. So here I have a plain, a blueberry, a cinnamon raisin, and a garlic. There are 4 different kinds of bagels. I can have plain cream cheese, chive cream cheese, or sun-dried tomato. There are 3 different cream cheeses. So when I multiply those, I find out that there are 12 different combinations or outcomes for this. Question 2, we have ham, turkey, roast beef, tuna salad, vegetarian. We have 5 different kinds of sandwiches, and I have 4 different sides. So 5 times 4 gives me 20 different combinations or outcomes for that situation. Picking a month of the year and a day of the week. There are 12 months in the year. There are 7 days in the week. When I multiply those together, you will get 84. 84 different outcomes in this situation. If I am looking at the probability of choosing from a comedy, a horror, or an action movie, each shown in 4 different theaters, comedy, horror, action movie, we have 3 different kinds of movies in 4 different kinds of theaters, which means I have the probability of getting 12 different movie combinations. All right, at this time, I would like for you to go on to the slides having to do, if you would like extra practice, you can go on to slide 43 here. I would like for you to go to slide 44 and practice with your IXL counting principle. Both of these are different, and so they are going to give you a little bit of extra practice. You will then go on and you will work on your Ed puzzle for this lesson. It is in your Schoology folder. And then after that, you will take your exit slip. So for the remainder of the class period, you have an Ed puzzle and an exit slip. Safe travels, friends.